Hi, welcome to Box on the Box, Rock and Celluloid, Bot Brack for short. I'm Edward Box. So today I'm going to be reviewing the new Michael Schenker group, or Michael Schenker album Universal. He's using the MSG logo, but it just says Michael Schenker. So it's caught off guard a little bit when the song Emergency dropped. Because I thought, I didn't realise he was doing something new. It didn't seem a big amount of time had passed from the album Immortal, and yet Immortal kind of came out as a kind of lockdown period album. Now that album I really liked. It took a little bit of getting into, but the more I listened to it, the more I thought like it was real quality. My only criticism of that really was I prefer it if it just used one vocalist, and that choice would be Ronnie Romero. And I feel the same about this album, but I'll come to it. But Schenker's been putting albums out every year, every 18 months recently. He did the two Michael Schenker Fest albums, Revelation and Resurrection, which I wasn't totally keen on. But the main thing is an album's a reason to tour. And he's getting a really big pull again. I've seen him at my 2,000 seat venue in Newcastle, and he's always half full or more. And he's really got his act together since the dark days of when he played at Derby Rock and Blues Festival and terrible UFO gigs of the early noughties. And that's a great thing to see. I think the new current live lineup is the best lineup he's had since the Macaulay Schenker group. He's got Bodo Schaff on drums. Forget the name of the Belgian bassist, but he's great on stage, really cool. Steve Mann, stalwart, keyboard, guitar player, really good. He's been with him a long time, obviously Michael. And then Ronnie Romero, who I think is a fine frontman and vocalist. So what's this album like? Immortal, as I said, I really liked it. I thought it was a strong record. I prefer it if it just had Ronnie Romero singing. It was more like an MSG album. And I must say, I feel the same about this. I don't know why Michael has had guest singers this time. It kind of more like the Michael Schenker Fest when Ronnie Romero has got a fine rock vocalist who can cover the sort of Graham Bonnet, Gary Barden range of singing, and secure like a really, really good contemporary sound for Michael. But anyway, it opens with Emergency. This is quite interesting. It's got a kind of 5/4 timing. There's some odd time signatures. It's 3 minutes 49. When I first heard this track, I wasn't like keen on it. I like it more now. I don't think it's great compared to like Sail the Darkness or Drilled to Kill, which were the lead-off cuts off the previous album. But it's a good song. The same I kind of feel about the next track, Under Attack. Maybe like this a bit more in the classic MSG feel. Good length as well. 4 minutes 18. No, 4 minutes 38. Again, good arrangements. I forget who is singing on that. Obviously Emergency's got Ronnie Romero. Then the third track's just Calling Baal. This is just like a little intro, and this features Tony Carey on keyboards. Now this is the lead into the song A King Has Gone, which has Michael Kiss singing on. And obviously Tony Carey played in the great Rainbow Rising album. So this track, I like A King Has Gone. I think Kiss sounds really good. I think it's the strongest track so far on the album. It's quite kind of power metal. Kind of strange doing a lyric about Ronnie Dio when he's been gone so long, but that's cool. Anything Dio related is great. So that's the next track. So they're actually official videos. Emergency is a video, Under Attack's a lyric video, and The King Is Gone is a kind of video. Next track is the best track so far on the album, one of the best tracks on the album, maybe the best track, and that's The Universe. Because this is in a cool 6/8 time signature. One thing that Michael's good at is using 3/4 and 6/8. A lot of rock bands don't. Certainly 3/4 they don't use. Michael uses them on their ballads a lot. There's a ballad on the last album with Michael Voss singing. So this is really good. Gary Barden, I think it's Ronnie Romero kind of duet on this. Gary Barden sounds good. Obviously, he's lost his top range, so it works well in his low register. This is pretty epic. It's got epic soloing from Michael. I should say, like again, Immortal, I thought there was a couple of tracks on that has the best soloing in years on. Drilled to Kill, the duel with Derek Sherinian, and the Sail the Darkness solo is fantastic. He can blow hot and cold. This has got some really cool soloing on. Then the next track is Long Long Road. This is Michael Voss on this. He's singing probably like the least of the singers he uses, and I totally appreciate his production and the work. I think the work he does for Schenker is a lot of putting riffs together. I think Michael sends him riffs. This is how I think it works. I think Michael Voss kind of puts them together in arrangements like Ron Nevinson used to do. I could be wrong. This is kind of commercial. It's like a sort of classic kind of commercial MSG type track. like in the On and On vibe and things like that. Again, I don't think it's great, but it's a good track for when it's 19. Yeah, it's going back to Voss's vocals. I just find them. Quite like his rasp, but his vocals a bit too thin for me. But that's just my taste. He's a good singer. Wrecking Ball's number 7. So this has got Ralph Sheepers on it of Primal Fear. So it's quite interesting when Ralph stepped up on Immortal for a couple of tracks. Drilled to Kill in particular way. He gave it some really aggressive power metal singing, and it worked really well actually. I liked it, although it's not the kind of singing I'd like for a whole MSG album. This track is 4 minutes and 9. It's pretty catchy. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. It's not as good as The Universe, but it's catchy. It's got a cool solo. This has got one of the best solos on it. Track 8 is Yesterday Is Dead. This has got Brian Tichy and Barry Sparks on it. Brian Tichy seems to be a drummer who turns up on a lot of stuff. I don't like this track. It's got some 7/4 timing on it, I think. It just hasn't got the hook. Again, 4 minutes and 2. You've got to say all these arrangements, are really tight. This is a well-arranged track, so they're not too long. Then London Is Calling is next. This has got Michael Voss on as well. This is quite interesting. The lyrics kind of about the new Wobham going to London in 1980. Of course, Michael went to London in 79-80, and MSG were kind of an honorary new Wobham band, in that sense that people were getting into metal on, Maiden, Saxon. But a lot of heritage artists, Priest, Schenker, Black Sabbath, and Scorpions were able to build on that as well. I quite like the lyrics on this. They're quite interesting. It's got a great solo as well. The track 6 out of 10, quite like it. Next track is Sad As the Song, and this is one of the best tracks on the album. It's got the mighty Simon Phillips on this, the great drummer who played an MSG debut album. So this has got like an Animal Magnetism vibe. If you know the rhythm of the Scorpion song Animal Magnetism, it's kind of in the Phrygian mode. I think it is a Phrygian mode. I really like it. It's got an epic feel, kind of Lost Horizons. And Barry Sparks plays bass on this as well. I really like this track, 10 out of 10. Really good. And the next track, Au Revoir. That has Simon Phillips on. So this is got the Captain Nemo style riff. And the timing's really funny. So it's got some notes here. It's got 4/4, then 5/4, 4/4, then 5/4. So it's switching timing. Like Michael's kind of put a couple extra quarter, eighth notes, on the tail of the riff to kind of make it odd timing. Which is interesting. He never really did, his UFO stuff, MSG stuff, tended to be 6/8, 3/4, 4/4. Simple time for 4/4, 3/4, compound time for 6/8 for the musos out there. But this is great. This really rocks along. You can hear like Simon Phillips, the quality he brings. I kind of looked into who's on this album on Subtract, so forgive my lack of research there. But I came at this quite late, and I wanted to get this review out there because it's it's been out it's been out a week. So Au Revoir is really good. And then you've got Turn Off the World, another really good melodic track. This has got Ronnie Romero singing, I believe. Brian Tichy on drums. This is kind of a really melodic commercial track. Kind of like a Malmsteen, Malmsteen is a commercial hooky track. And it's about, problems in the world, turn off the world, probably inspired by the pandemic, that period where there was peace and quiet. So it's kind of weird, Sad As a Song, Au Revoir, Turn Off the World. You got 3 really strong tracks off the bat there. And along with The Universe, these are like the 4 core tracks. They're the ones I'd say are really top tracks. Finishes with Fighter, which is another kind of melodic, classy MSG track. I'd give that a 6 out of 10. So yeah, going off that, the rest of the tracks, a solid fill. It probably needs a bit more killer tracks. I think with Immortal, there was kind of 5 really, really top tracks, and then the other 5 tracks were good. Maybe apart from one of them. But Immortal was kind of a 7, 7.5 out of 10. I'd say with this, it's a 7, 6.5 or 7. It's not quite as strong as Immortal for me, but it's better than the Michael Schenker Fest stuff. My main criticism is that I feel he next needs to get his MSG band in the studio making MSG album. That's Ronnie Romero, Bernard Courvoisier, I think that's his name, Steve Mann, Bodo Schloff, obviously Michael, and maybe take the time. So this has come out now, he doesn't need to do an album for the next year. And I was thinking ahead. I mean, he's 70 in 2025, January, I think. Now that would be a good time to release a really strong MSG album with that lineup and celebrate his 70th birthday. But knowing Michael, he'll probably like get something out of there quicker. So yeah, that's the Universal. Sorry. I forgot to say, actually, I love the album cover. It's a great album cover. Michael's in his flying V-shaped spaceship. I think that's really well done. I quite liked the MSG packaging he's done. The logo's looking really strong. So yes, worth getting if you enjoyed it more, or I still feel there's a better, more consistent album in Michael, based on the kind of best bits of both those albums, and I still believe we can get that. But he's still out there, he's still making good music, he's still doing some rhythm guitar solos, he still matters. And it looked like for a time he was kind of losing the plot. So glad he's back, and I'll see you again. Thanks very much.